is now increasingly being raised in captivity, a practice known as aquaculture. Over 1/3 of all fish consumed in the United States is farm-raised. However, some of the more popular and profitable farmed species, such as salmon and bluefin tuna, pose additional threats to ocean fisheries.
They're not vegetarians. They have to be fed other fish. So instead of taking pressure off the ocean, it creates a different kind of pressure to feed and keep fueling the aquaculture.
About 17 pounds of fish are required for each pound of weight gain in bluefin tuna. And at least 3 pounds of wild fish must be caught and converted into feed pellets for every pound of salmon raised.
Why are we trying to raise carnivores? Taking huge quantities of wildlife from the ocean to turn these creatures into fish meal for farm-raised creatures. We don't know what we're doing. We're monkeying around with our life support system.
Not only are there concerns over the amount of feed required, a recent study indicates some feeds may pose a risk to human health.
We have sufficiently contaminated our oceans that now if we concentrate the fish meal and fish oil from trash fish that nobody wants to eat, then shove it to fish in a cage and push their weight gain, we can develop animals that are dangerous to eat.
An exhaustive study completed by a team of toxicologists has shown that samples of farmed salmon from supermarkets across the U.S. have 10 times more residues of PCBs and dioxins than wild salmon.
Dioxin is rated by every national and international agency as a proven human carcinogen. PCBs are rated as probable human carcinogens. I think the most dangerous thing is that exposure to these compounds before birth causes a reduction in IQ of the child.
One reason why wild salmon have fewer toxins than farmed fish is because of their natural diet.
The fish that they eat are lower on the food chain. They have fewer contaminants, and they eat crustaceans. And in fact, the crustaceans, the shrimp, is where the wild salmon get their natural pink or red color. And this is unlike the situation with the farm salmon, where the color is an added dye.
Scientists are also concerned about the overuse of chemicals and antibiotics in fish farming operations. About 1/3 of all shrimp consumed worldwide is raised in ponds like this, where threats of bacterial infection and disease are often treated by adding chemicals to the water and mixing antibiotics in the feed, a practice some feel can create disease-resistant bacteria that pose yet another serious threat to human health. Additional problems with open ocean net cage operations, like those that raise salmon and tuna, is that seawater flows freely through the pens, untreated, and into the surrounding environment. Local biologists and fishermen say that wild salmon are being infested by lice as they migrate near salmon farms, a problem which can be especially lethal to juvenile fish.
Our young fish going out to sea have to pass through this. It kills. And that's the bottom line. And it's happening out there, the floating hotels out there, where there's stress, where there's overcrowding, and when they become overcrowded and stressed, then you have a problem.
If you stand on a football field with a person with a cold, you're less likely to get that cold than if you stand in an elevator for 4 hours with 10 other people who are very sick with the same cold. That's the principle. The transmission potential to the wild fish is huge.
Where salmon farms have been located in areas with insufficient tidal flow, the large volume of waste has polluted the sea floor, impacting shellfish and other marine life. Another concern is that due to storms or human error, large numbers of farmed salmon have escaped into the wild.
No one knows what the large escapement of farmed salmon could do to our rivers, to our salmon. No one knows that. You know, it's all, to me, everything's all guesswork.